Iran has just released a simulation clip showing how an F-5 fighter jet penetrated the air defense layer and successfully bombed an US base in Kuwait during the early days of the aggression launched on February 28, 2026, by the US and Israel on Iran. In one of the riskiest missions, IRGC Air Force pilots indeed showed great courage, ready for total war even with outdated fighter jets, directly dropping gravity bombs on Al-Udeiri Air Base, also known as Camp Buehring, an operation that remains a subject of extensive military analysis to this day. Kuwait is one of the potential host nations housing U.S. military equipment to attack its neighbor, Iran. Although the base has air defenses like the Patriot system, this rare breach marked the first time an enemy heavy fixed-wing aircraft had attacked an U.S. military base in years since the Korean War, according to U.S. officials. Meanwhile, U.S. defenders at the base panicked and carried out what is known as a friendly fire incident, shooting down 3 of their own F-15 fighter jets over Camp Buehring. The Iranian military released satellite imagery and photos, showing the impact of heavy strikes by fighter jets including their drones across Camp Buehring, causing billions of dollars in damage, more severe than what U.S. officials have acknowledged. 8 strike points were identified with individual images in a post on April 6. Other satellite imagery shows extensive damage from the Iranian strikes, with details on some as follows. A large aircraft shelter was struck. Several barracks housing U.S. soldiers and officers along with other buildings were completely destroyed. 2 warehouses were also severely damaged. 2 large area maintenance shelters LAMs for the U.S. Army's Department of Defense sustained severe damage, and Camp Buehring's power plant suffered significant damage. Iranian officials said the attack was carried out by domestically produced Kowsar fighter jets, which are a derivative of the 50-year-old US F-5 aircraft that Iran received before the revolution. They explained that Kowsar is a jet they have been mass-producing since 2018. Our engineers, together with trained pilots and skilled technicians, have successfully brought this to fruition, they added. The Kowsar cockpit is unlike that of the F-5. It resembles 3rd or 4th generation aircraft, and engineers describe it as a 4th generation fighter jet. It is particularly impressive that Iran achieved this under sanctions. Jet engine technology remains one of the most significant hurdles, even for countries like India. It is worth noting that Iranian true strength, the factor that makes the difference, lies not in its air force, but in its missiles and drones, which have dominated the enemy's air superiority throughout the war. It appears that the Iranian Air Force is not stationed at its airfields. It tends to deploy its fleet of domestically produced Kowsar aircraft, as well as MiG-29 and Su-24, across the vast mountainous terrain, intending to use them extensively in the future should war break out again, but with a strategy designed to wear down the enemy, rather than through open aerial combat. In other words, the aircraft would emerge from the mountains, strike, and then return to their positions undetected. That would explain a lot.